with that AR in hand. He's not a very easy kill to get. The guy's got an absolute beamer on him. So it's all going to be, especially on a map like Embassy, Dashy slaying with the best. And here we go, Lando. Starting off on the Embassy, exactly what Optic want.
Without question, my friend, it is going to be a fun series. Strap in, ladies and gents. As we said, both teams trying to walk away with this series. They do that. They're guaranteed winners bracket when it comes down to the Texas major. A lot of eyes on Optic lately, and the same thing can be said for New York. A lot of expectations on their shoulders, Jay, considering how Major 2 went for them. Wasn't good.
Yeah, Major 2 was not the best for New York. They have to now bounce back in towards Major 3. They've done a great job so far in this stage, sitting at a 2-on-1 record, but they have some 2 great matchups to close out this stage. Obviously, this one versus Optic, and the next one versus Seattle to see where they are truly at. But already, Dan Ghosty finds 2 from top papers. They're winning that rotation over towards P2, even with New York starting off on the better side. Only able to get 11 seconds off of that P1 Optic. Right now, a step ahead in the rotation.
Indeed, and Priesta is causing quite a bit of stir toward the back. Shotzzy's going to have to try to get involved in the fight soon. The problem being is that really, he's not going to have a whole lot of teammate support. He's the farthest pushed up player, and taking a look at parking lot, any kill would be a big one. Gets the explosive damage off of Priesta. However, Subliners still here. Kismet, Soulman alive inside of the hard point. Hydra, he also gets picked apart. 30 seconds still to play for, and right now Ghosty, he is the only player near that objective.
Yeah, Ghost is the only one here, so you want to try to soak as much as you possibly can as Dashy's watching your cross. He does cut down 1 player, but the final 25 is going to go in favor of New York. Now it's going to come down to the rotations, where Optic statistically have been the worst on Embassy hardpoint, going against New York, who are pretty even around the middle of the pack between some of these teams. But this final 20 is going to be theirs. Optic now have the opportunity to get fully set up towards AC. Big kill coming in from Dash.
Big kill coming in from Bruce, and that's now going to set up Optic Texas with some solid control. As we said, that P2 by no means went their way. Hatterley spawns, and then it ends up crashing down. And how about the crossfire that was established there from New York? You had Priesta firing over the top, and from there, the Bulldog could roam. A wonderful start to this P3. New York, another break, causing havoc early.
Oh, another break, but it's going to be Optic right back on in. They are able to find all the kills, take control of Orange, and execute that play to perfection. Because now the Swans are going to flip. New York are on a better side off the rotation over towards the next hill. But if you are Optic, this 25 is big. You just have to get this. With skyz finding that 2, they might decide to put pressure on. Big nade from Priesta as skyz finds the 3rd already on a 4 spree. Another break does come in, but look at the spawns for Optic. They get a couple close spawn towards back hedge.
Yeah, and they might actually just decide to send 1 player up for this 1v1. That's going to go Shotzi's way, and understandably so. Arguably the biggest rotation comes in right now here on Embassy. It is the AC2 Office Roto. And currently it is Optic Texas with early seconds, with early time, but do they have the advantage, as now it is Hydra's opportunity to roam inside of the Embassy. Skyz also looking to pull off that SMG. We know how dangerous he can be in a multitude of different roles. Just feels like every time that Optic Texas gets set up, regardless of if they're walking away with the scrap, New York are making their presence felt, Jay. 15 points away from hitting a century.
Oh yeah, New York are doing a great job of just keeping the kill stagnant. Right there was only 2 Optic Texas players off the rotation that were trying to stay alive for the longest, with more players on the side of New York. So they were able to find that break immediately, but all out pressure through back single door, putting the pressure through planners, but can't find a trade on the Priesta. So the final 20 seconds is going to go in favor of New York. Optic need to try to stop the bleeding going into towards this kitchen hill.
Oh, and Shotzzy, well, he nearly dropped the deuce in more ways than one. A good little effort there. However, does eventually get found out. 110 to 37. In desperate need of an answer right now are Optic Texas. As we said, Jay, lots of eyes on these boys, considering the week that they have coming up next. They've got New York right now, and then a matchup tomorrow with Atlanta FaZe. As we said, considering how great and formed that Atlanta have been, a W here for Optic does not just feel nice, but it almost feels necessary.
Yeah, it feels necessary because you want to make sure that this roster change is the real deal, and so far it's leading to a lot of success on this kitchen hill. 25 uncontested points so far going in favor of the green wall, but it's all on the Dan Ghosty. He finds 2, but that's not going to be enough. It's now huke's turn. Huke and shotzzy combined for the other 2. They shut down that first push from New York, and so far this has been a stellar hold in towards kitchen.
Yeah, well, we talked about the SMGs now put in a position to fry, put in a position where they can absolutely be at their best so far throughout our first set of rotations. Hasn't been the cleanest, but boy, have they made that scoreline look a lot better, Jay, just simply at P5. So far throughout the first side, I mean, what? It just feels like for New York, breaks on breaks on breaks is the reason why they have the lead.
Yeah, Optic Texas just weren't able to set up properly around some of these hills, and you have that much time off the rotation. You got to make sure you put yourself in the best possible setup to not get instantly broken, but that's what New York were able to find some success on. Now we find ourselves on the second rotation of hard points. It's going to be New York with the preferred side towards orange, but Optic doing a great job of just keeping them off that point. Now it's time to be the aggressors. You know exactly where the spawns are going to be. 2-2 split from both of the squads, but it's an all-out scrap in the mix in towards P1 still.
It is indeed 30 seconds still to play for over at P1. Meanwhile, as we like to talk about it, bottom side of your screen, when it comes down to the next rotation, that's really what this is all about. A big gunfight victory for shotzzy. Now should give them better map positioning. However, they still have one player that they've got to get through, and that is Priesta. Comes away with pretty much everybody. Dashy eventually able to poke away at him. But once he does, the rest of his teammates are already back in that respawn screen. Big play coming in from P-Dog.
And the close spawns did come in right there from Optic Texas, so it's a 2-2 split. Now they lose control of street side, so if you are Priesta, just hold down this position, wait for your teammates to get into the play. But Optic know exactly what's going on. They're setting up shotzzy for the pinch. Now they know that all of New York are going to try to break this from middle. This has been a perfect setup from Optic Texas to get themselves back into the game and potentially take the lead.
Oh, and shotzzy is going to be able to set up huke there for the eventual trade onto Hydra. 30 points still to play for. And if you're looking again at that minimap, as we so often are, nobody in sight right now from the Subliners. As we head in toward the ACs, Optic Texas have not just brought this game back, but now find themselves in a great position. Still 15 seconds, and so Hydra will go for the last second contest, just trying to put some pressure. And we'll see what the break could potentially look like here from Texas. We called it. New York, the reason why they had that lead after the first side was because of those breaks. Now can it be Optic's turn to do it? As we fly in for the ACs, let's step aside and see how the Subliners comms are sounding.
No, they're cat. They're running.
You might want to pinch a pop here.
I'm looking cat.
I'll have the close cat.
Yeah, he has cat. I'm not gonna last one.
Shot on top.
Ladder, one shot dead.
Close cat dead. Top PD. Sit down.
Yeah, help me.
I think there might be one there.
I spawn PD though. I spawn PD.
One's orange. I need your cap pinch. I have your top lane now. One orange. That's one.
Yellow, I spawn low. I got laid down too. Orange, going to hill. Right corner. Close right. One shot, that's one.
Nice,
go fucking one. One shot. Yeah, I spawn blue.
I got naded. I'm good.
There's one in close ladder. Each sign. He could go ladder or orange. Orange cutting. He's cutting orange. Outside. Hold on.
Ladder weak. He jumped down. Fell down. Oh wait, no, he stopped down.
I spawned back, bro. I spawn PT. They're gonna be. I spawn me.
One spawn blue.
Yeah, I'm across. I got one new.
I'm really. Nice.
One's back PD right now.
Back PD?
Yeah.
No, he's actually. One S1.
They spawned. Yo, they naded me for blue. Yeah, I'm playing live here.
Ghost is the only one there right now.
Alright. Yo, top secret.
I spawn blue. They're pushing through all, I think.
I think one's secret.
Yeah, one's secret.
In the back on me. Top secret.
Take your time. I kill him. I have it right here.
Nice. In the hill. Cheers, behind the desk. Behind the desk.
I'm coming to help you.
That's one. Let's go. I'm saying pizza.
Nice.
Push out pizza. I'm gonna go S1. He's saying no. Yo, they can be mid lane. They can be mid lane. They're middle. I have all right court. Yo, court. Top. Court tap two guys.
Okay. I hear.
There's two in the back on me. No one court. Yeah, he pushed on the block. Nice. 4.
Yeah, stay this one, bro. Stay. I hear.
Yeah.
Back right.
Give up.
This just feels like an all-out brawl. Every hard point we see, they're just bodies after bodies after bodies being thrown at this one. New York, well, they were able to eventually find somebody on the ladder over at the ACs. They're improving, they're watching their cuts, and now they find themselves with a 20-point advantage. But Jay, and this is what we talked about. It was going to be a square up. It was going to be an all-out SMG battle, lots of close range fights, and we're getting what we thought we would.
Yeah, we're getting exactly what we thought we would. A battle of hard point. Optic only find themselves down by 10 points. But now off the rotation, a big play is going to be on Dashy, but unfortunately he does drop. Huke there for the trade. So you're putting pressure in through laundry. You're putting pressure towards back kitchen. Just have to win these gunfights. Shotzzy's able to fly on in. He's able to find the break by his lonely. Hydra's the last player up here from New York. The pinch comes in from Skyz. Now it's all up to Skyz. Can he stay alive?
Can he stay up? And right now he's got the teammate support Priesta as well. That's the biggest part about this New York team, is that when it comes down to Embassy, both of their ARs have got some SMG experience, and right now they are showing it. Skyz now on 4, beginning to go on a heater, and now Texas are spawning out and are nowhere near kitchen any longer. NYSL starting to feel themselves. As we said, the flexibility of this team is definitely starting to be felt. Priesta eventually falls, and now Optic with 5 seconds left, just trying to get Skyz out of the hard point. Finally, they're able to do it, but down by a decent margin, Jay. Optic Texas have got a decent hill to climb.
Yeah, Optic Texas need to now fight for a majority of this P1 time, or at least play to keep off the Subliners off for that time. Neither one of these squads want to hop on the point. You want to try to just play your kills around the map. Ghosty is going to lose that gunfight towards top paper. So now Optic Texas have to at least hold AC positioning. Huke already stepping up. Finds us on a 5 spree before he does get shut down. But it's all about that next hill. It's all about setting up your team for that P2. Optic get a couple close spawns towards street.
Do indeed. Texas still have to be careful about not allowing for NYSL to be on P1. So far, they have not even really touched it. And currently for Optic, considering the spawns that you have, they're going to try to put in a bit of pressure at P1, but ultimately just focus in for the bottom side of the map. These kills are going to be huge. Optic Texas needs to walk away with a few. Right now in the backside, it is going to be Kismet still staying up, staying alive. As huke ends up falling. Again, these fights are almost just being established. They're getting set up. We've got everybody aware and focused up. As it comes down to this rotation, New Yorker here early. Ghosty looking for the information, looking for the fights. Huke tries to set it up, but he ends up dropping.
Oh man, there's so many New York players watching all the angles that they need to. They're able to win a couple of these gunfights. Last player up is going to be Ghosty. He has to try to stay alive, keep him off at this time, doing a great job of doing so. And pay attention to that game clock. There's only 50 seconds left. New York need 15. They're able to find 2 kills. Dan Ghosty's doing a great job of just staying alive, but Optic still are not getting any time. You need to hop on the point.
You do indeed. I mean, at the very least, they're at least keeping New York off of it. However, oh, nice long-range shot coming in from Ghosty, and now it's going to be onto this rotation.
Okay.
They managed to find a few, and with that, this is very much doable now. The Subliners, it looked like they had all the positioning in the world, but they did not get on the point. And now this looks that much more. Oh! Shotzzy ends up getting turned on as now Hydra is running rampant toward the bottom side of the ACs. Handles one and then the other half of the SMG duo. Dashy now left in a position to clutch as heat will fall. It is Kismet and Hydra who break almost effortlessly, as this will be a game 1 that goes the way of New York.
Oh man, if that's the way we're gonna start this series, we're in for a long one, Lando, because what a hard point between both of these two teams. New York, they were just in control of the map.
What is Hydra?
Whenever they needed to just play for those kills, they did exactly what they needed to. Is he holding a piece of bread? Like,
that's a baguette, Jay.
Full French phenom. Oh yeah, he's a French phenom.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just a little confused there. Go ahead.
New York. Kind of threw me off there, but New York, they did exactly what they needed to do. They were in control of the spawns when it was needed, but even when Optic Texas were rotating nice and early,